Shana Tova, everyone. We're doing our vocal warm-ups. That's happening. Oh, that's what it is. Yes. If I haven't met you yet, my name is Shira. We're going to be doing a ton of singing. We're going to sing, well, we're just getting started. We're going to sing from the beginning of this for 10 days. We're going to sing, we're going to end, we're going to be up on our feet, we're going to be fasting, we're going to sing like we've never sung before. So I just wanted to invite you for a moment, a little bit behind the curtain. Come into our warm-ups with us. So here's what you got to do. Sit up tall. Yes, thank you, Cheryl. Just have a big sit. Big sit, shoulders back. Hi, Harry. And you just start to get those vocal cords buzzing like this. Ooh. And try some slides like this. You can try it on a yeah. And Naomi's doing some octave slides like this. Make sure your mouth is like, I haven't done this before. It's okay, just stretch it out a little bit. In fact, you can give it a little massage. You can, in fact, did you know your tongue is all the way down here? You can massage your tongue a little bit, like massage your whole neck. Yeah, and then you'll be much more ready to sing. It's phenomenal. Yes, Neil. Give your tongue a massage. You can say, wow. This is a move you've probably seen before. You know what it's for? It's for your diaphragm. It's like take a big breath and see how strong your breath is moving through your body with a little. Yes, good. A little stretching is good. A little stretching is great. My voice teacher, she says, locate your voice in your body. Find it in your face a little bit. Now here's a really crazy one. This really helps you reach those high notes. Brings in your buzz. I know it sounds crazy, but it's fun and it helps you sing. Want to try it with me? Don't forget to take a deep breath. Sit up tall. Open up the gates for all who gathered here. Open up the gates for all who seek your presence. Just warming up. Starting down low. Take a deep breath. Join us. Open up the gates of kindness and compassion. Open up the gates of wholeness and Now, Leo, she's using her breath this entire time, so tune into breath with Leo. She'll keep you breathing. Open up the gates of freedom and justice. Open up of liberation, open Yeah, crew.
Thanks to our staff, crew, tech team, production assistants, volunteers, we've got this. And most importantly, we've got you, our beloved Lab Shul community members. Some of you will be here with us in person, and most of you will be joining us online via Facebook Live or our YouTube channel, and our younger community, they'll be participating via Zoom really intimately. And we've got tech moderators on all of our portals to chat with you, help you with tech issues, and just make this experience really meaningful and really connected. This is truly a High Holy Day season of multi-access points, literally and metaphorically. Over the course of these days of awe and into the year to come, we invite you to immerse yourself in the practice of release. We are entering the year of Shmita, which happens once every 7 years in our collective tradition. It's our ancestors' invitation to take a deep breath, and I'll invite you to do that now with me because we all need one. To unplug if you've got a plugged device with you. I know those of you online are plugged. Maybe unplug a little bit more. To notice and to let go. But first, let's bring in some light. I want to thank Chana Klenberg, one of our wonderfully talented community artists, for the beautiful matches with which I'm going to light our Rosh Hashanah candles.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Amen, amen, amen.
We are here. Maybe you're here. Maybe you're here. We here? I invite us to bring ourselves here. Maybe that's breath. Maybe that's closing your eyes for a moment. Maybe that's closing your eyes for a moment, wherever you are right now, to help you be here and to help us be here, right now. It is strange to be simultaneously with many of you all over the world, with some of us in this room, on the threshold of this new year. But right now, all we can do is be here and now. The Hebrew word is po. It's a funny word to say. I'm inviting you to feel your mouth and say it. Po. Po. It means here. It means being on earth. It means being alive. It means being here and now. Maybe not how we thought we will, but here we are. There's another word in Hebrew. That word is pe. And that word means mouth, which is sometimes big and sometimes held tight. And maybe in Hebrew the word pe and the word po are related because through our breath and through our speech, when we open, when we close, we get to be present. So I want to invite you to say the word pe. And open your mouth wide, even behind a mask. Pe.
Pe,
Pe, pe, pe, pe, pe.
pe, 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 pe,
Po, po, po.
po, po, po.
We're going to be singing a lot, which is why we're here. And the pe, pe, the spiral, pe, is a way for us to really bring our body and our soul and our mind wherever we are together. And if this feels a little strange, good. We're here to push ourselves beyond normal to be in extraordinary. On the eve of this new year, there's a Hebrew expression, pe echad, which means all of us as one, as though we're all using one mouth, one thought, one present. And so on this strange new year, with just a few of us here in person and many of us joining us on so many different places and devices, can we for just one breath be one po, one pe echad? I invite you wherever you are right now, watching us, sitting with us, to feel what it's like to breathe. Pe echad. On the cusp of this new year, may we find ways of being together, present to whatever comes next. And if you are joining us on YouTube, on Facebook, I invite you to put in the chat where you are, so we all share with each other the different locations, since we are all here and now. And we're going to invite into this here and now, right now, our friend Dvir Cohen Iraqi, who is in Israel, but recorded for us a prayer that is used by the Yemenite Jewish community on every eve of the new year, a prayer that calls for the little sister, that invitation for the energy of the new year, and invites the oldest person in the room who is still alive to stand up on this new year and recite it. So whether you're old, young, joining us for the first time, for the 10th time, may this little sister of the new year enter our here and now. Shana Tova.
אחות קטנה תפילותיו תכלה שונו וגיל לא
אחות קטנה תפילותיה אורחה ועונה תהילותיה אל נא רפנה לה למחלותיה תכלה שנה וקללותיה
בנועם המילים לך תקרא ושיר והילולים כי לך נאה עד מתי תעלים עינך ותראה זרים אוכלים נחלותיה. I grew up in a Yemenite family, and this is our tradition. On the night of Rosh Hashanah, we would gather in the synagogue, and then the eldest man among us would slowly rise from his seat and stand in front of the community. Fathers would cover their children's head with a talit, and everybody would take this moment with awe in silence, starting the year with this enchanting tune. I could hear the purest form of essence in that old broken voice.
זמירה שבת וחשקת הלבי לחפוץ קרבת דודה ותעביר מלדעת נפשה ותסיר לבקש אהבת כלולותיה אל נא רפנה לה אל נא רפנה לה תכלה שנה וקללותיה.
Shana Tova, everyone. I once again thank you for allowing me to be present here with you today. Rabbi Amidah and I have spent the year together doing many things, many things. We've had conversation in groups talking about separation to reparation. I've worked with Lab Shul sharing Juneteenth. I've worked with Lab Shul celebrating Watch Night, waiting for the new year, an African American tradition that reminds us of the evening of Passover, believe it or not. Present. Being here and now and saying present is so powerful in so many cultures, in so many revolutionary countries in the South America. Presente are the words that are spoken for those who have been lost, to make sure that their spirits have been captured by those who are still around, not left behind, but who still hold those people in their hearts. And when you say that you are present, Whether you are online, whether you are here, when you are present, period, you, with your presence, when you say present, you make a testimony. You make a testimony to survival. You make a testimony to community. You make a testimony to moving forward in another year, undeterred by pandemic, undeterred by the economy, undeterred by the forces that be. When you say present, your voice counts. And we are present here. And when you say present, when you say po, here today, do you know who you bring with you when you say po here today, when you speak the word out loud? You bring together your ancestors from 5,782 years ago. These are not empty seats. These are not spaces between us and the internet and social media. That has nothing to do with that. What we are doing now is we are calling forth from all of the ancestors and remembering their stories and claiming them present with us here now in us. There's a river. There's a river that we claim that is the river of life. And in this river of life, we flow and ebb, but we continue on. And if you just think about what being present is for a little ebb in the river of life, just remember that it was a little ebb of the Colorado River that created the Grand Canyon. We too have been born in the river of life. I was 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 born in the river of life. I said, I was born in the river of life. I was born in the river of life. I was born from the river of life. I was born in the river of life. I've got love for my siblings. We're all life givers. Love for the trees and love for the rivers. Love for the earth and love for the sky. I've got love when I laugh and love when I cry. I've got love for my siblings. We're all life givers. Love for the trees and love for the rivers. Got love for the earth and love for the sky. I got love when I laugh and love when I cry. I was born in the river of life. I was born in the river of life. Yes, I was born in the river of life. 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 You were born in the river of life. We were born in the river of life.
So according to the Jewish tradition, tonight is the eve of the 6th day of creation. 5,782 years ago. Forget about the dinosaurs for a moment. This is a mythic number. The world was created, and this is Friday. So humanity is born. So we're born.
Yes.
So all of our ancestors are in the room right now, wherever we are. So happy birthday, humanity.
Yes.
We got a lot of wishes to make and a lot of things to fix. But tonight we celebrate the beginning of a long birthday. So we're going to invite ourselves, if you are able, to feel what it's like to be alive and to feel your knees and feel your bellies, feel your spine, and with yogic breathing, as you are able to, let's rise to this first eve of this first day of a new year. And feel your knees and move them around a little bit so we feel gravity and we bow to each other and we bow to this earth. So we're going to invite us to very yogically, quietly and slowly sit, unless your name is Sadie, in which case we invite you to come up here on our stage and help us with this poem, which is the sunset poem. And if you are joining us here in this room, there's a few of us, friends, and if you are joining us online, you see that the sun is just beginning to set behind us here at City Winery, the Hudson Valley. But we're getting excited for this sunset on this Labor Day, end of summer, start of fall. Wherever you are, take a look around you. Notice the subtle transitions of weather and nature. And don't forget to breathe.
A breath. In the presence of the infinite, we watch with awe as today becomes tonight. Like a word exhaled, wisdom opens every gate. The change of seasons brings understanding. Time and space and stars move with meaning and purpose.
Amen.
the endless process of creation. Day becomes night, light rolls from darkness, dawn rises again and again, each change a manifestation of the soul of the universe. May we be guided now, as always, by living and eternal mystery. In the presence of the infinite, we are blessed by this and every evening.
Amen, amen, amen. Amen.
Another breath in the presence of this infinite. However we got here, whoever we are grateful for being chosen to live this life right now with love. Can you feel your own heartbeat? We want to invite you to take your hand, if you can, put it on your heart, put it on your palm, find a pulse. We chant this one-liner in our tradition in the morning, in the evening, a reminder that we are one And the paragraph that comes right after, the one that is found on our thresholds and in our ritual objects, is the line that reminds us that every day we get to be reminded what it's like to love. Ve'ahavta, we love again and again. This is the user manual, the basic user manual on rough days and holy days, on lonely days and special days, sunrise and sunset. Find your pulse and someone else's. We are here to be reminded how to love. בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על עצמך, ושיננתם ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, ונשלם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Love. How often we think that love comes from deep within the wells of our own spirit and our own hearts. But love is really a gift from the universe for all of us. It does come from above as shelter. And it is the foundation upon which we stand and sit and upon which we are. And it protects us from below, from drifting, from falling away. This love. And when we are embraced from above and below by love, we can't help but open our hearts and want to share in that gift of the universe. That's where our love comes from above and below, giving us the vulnerability to open our hearts so that it can grow and flow from within.
just a taste of this privilege we have each new year to listen to the sound of nature blowing through our lungs. This shofar that we're invited to listen to on this first day of the new year is a wake-up call to humanity, to be awake to what is needed of us, each and every one of us, to be more present and more awake and more helpful. And when the sun sets soon, there will not be a moon tonight. This is the night of Keseh, the night of hidden moon, the only one on our calendar. Each and every year, tomorrow night there'll be a crescent moon. Tonight is the night of potential. So we're invited now to do what every single person on the planet knows to do when the night grows dark and when there is potential. To go inside and seek a way to be awake, to call upon the ancestors, to lean into your pulse, to ask for help from who or what and whatever you believe in or hold on to as sacred. And now we rise to this meditation that we call the Amidah, when we stand up for what we truly hope for on this first night of this new year. And we may whisper, or stand in silence, close our eyes, put the prayer shawl all over our face, and go inside so we can live and we can be here all year long, alive.
זוכרים לחיים רוח חפץ חיים וחולתנו בספר החיים למענך אלוהים עוזר מושיע ומגן ברוך אתה מגן אברהם בעזרת זרעו אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע מוריד אתה מחלקי חיים בחסד בחיי מתים ברחמים רבים הסלומך נופלים ואופן חולים ומעטים אסורים כמוך רחמים, זוכר יצואה לחיים רחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי
How do I want to live this year? How do I want to live this year? Let's find the answer in our hearts, inside this moment of silence, and in the days ahead. ניזכר וניכתב לפניך. As we take this time to feel and think what it is we want this coming year, not just from the world, but from ourselves, knowing that there's so much we don't have any control over, and there's so much uncertain, and not a single breath or day can be taken for granted, and yet so much is in our hands to show up better. We're going to open further our mouths and hearts in prayer and this ark, this barrel ark that Michael Dorf, our generous host here at City Winery, carved for us to house, to contain the sacred scroll we'll read tomorrow. So we're going to invite in just a moment Cheryl and John, who represent our executive board and the tireless people who make Lab Shul thrive year long, to help us open this ark as a way for us to further open our hearts in prayer, in asking ourselves and each other and whatever force there is beyond, above, below, to help us live another year and live better. When you were playing Zafir before, Youd, I thought about your mother, who lives a mile from my mother in Jerusalem. They don't yet know each other. And I thought about Derek, whose church and home is just a couple miles from mine in Harlem. And thank God we know each other. And I thought about so many of us here on the stage in Brooklyn, in Philadelphia, those of you online in so many places, one sky above us all, one earth below our feet. And can we tonight have one mouth, pe echad, open our mouths and not take this moment for granted, and ask ourselves to rise to the challenge of making the distances not as vast, and find ways to really be a little more together so we can save ourselves and save this planet and be here all next year. We can try. So Cheryl, I want to invite you up, and John as well, carefully on the stage. We're going to sing Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu is not just our father or our king. It's our ancestors, it's our leaders, it's our DNA, it's whatever moves us, it's whatever we need to ask, talk, whisper, scream right now for a better year.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu v'adenu, Ti'emanu
Thanks, friends. So I invite us to sit back down. It's always on the first night of the new year, we're still figuring it all out. How to open the ark and how to close it, how to open our hearts and regroup. For some of us, this is the first time in a year we've seen each other or opened ourselves to this thing called prayer. Even though on every single given day, especially this past year and this past many months, I know we've all found ways to do this thing called prayer because so much is going on and so much is at stake. The word prayer is a Christian word. It is an English word. It's based on the French to plead. And in Hebrew, the word for what we're doing here on this and every night is Avodah. The word is Avodah, the same word for what we do when we work. The same word for the word labor. So knowing that there's many of us all over the world, I'm not going to assume what is your second question at a cocktail party. But in New York City, it's what do you do? Work is very important for us. We define ourselves, for better or for worse, so often by what we do, work-wise. And that's not important, but there's so much more to it. And the word labor, Avodah, has so much to teach us about what to do and what not to do, how to and how not to work. The word Avodah seemed appropriate as Reverend Derek and I thought about this night, which is the new night of the new year and the end of Labor Day, which is why I'm sure a lot of you are still in shorts watching us wherever you are and maybe still on the beach. Labor Day is the end of summer, the beginning of fall. It's the day that honors labor and the sanctity of labor. It's a day that has some shadow and history. And it's a day that invites us tonight, on the eve of this new year, which is the year of Shmita, the year of release, the year in which we are invited to let the land, the earth, work less. We are invited to let the land, the earth, go fallow so the land can be restored. And we're invited to think of the workers, not just the farmers, all of us, a year in which we can work a little less so we can be a little more. And that also connects to this Hebrew word Avodah, which is the labor of the heart. That thing we call prayer, it's like what you do when you go to the gym, when you work out. There's that word again. This is about the spiritual workout. So we hope to redeem that work in some way, because it's such an important word. And now that, safely or not, mostly outdoors, we're back at restaurants. Sometimes, some of us, I do want to say that one of my biggest pet peeves is when you sit down to dinner and you're halfway through your plate and the waiter asks you, "Are you done working with that?" I'm like, I'm not working, I'm eating. So we have some healing to do with work and labor and how we honor work and when we know when to say, no, I'm just enjoying myself right now. This is not about work. This is about being. So we're going to talk about labor, about Avodah, tonight and tomorrow as we figure out how to do less and be more in this coming year. I want to invite my brother and colleague with us again for Labor of Love for the second year to take us deeper into labor as we give birth to this new year.
Well, you and I have been speaking about this idea of labor and what labor really means for us here, especially in the 21st century where we have gotten so used to what it is that you do for work as being defining who you are. You don't go into an elevator and say, "Hi, I'm at a conference with you and I want to tell you about my family." Someone says, "What do you do? Where do you work? What's your job?" And the problem with that is that we get conditioned to think that our work defines who we are. That Avodah is who we are. And as we were discerning and thinking about this year in Shmita and looking into the texts, I said to Rabbi Amikai, I said, "Rabbi, I have another idea about what it means to work and to be released from work, at least for a year. Because we are released for a year from work and trying to define who we are by our work, we actually have the time to stop working and define who we are and work on our humanity. What if we take this year of release and shift our work from saying, well, what I do is who I am, and saying the work that I'm going to do this year, as I release that burden of work, is I'm going to find my purpose as a human being on this earth. We get an opportunity every 7 years to stop, to know that we will be provided for because we have done the work the other 6 years. And it's time to dream again. It's time to look at our storehouses and say, who are the people that don't have? And who may I be able to share what I have with? What can my work yield in this year of release? It will yield you a prosperous humanity. The beautiful thing about finding your purpose in humanity by working at that instead of something else and thinking that you are defined solely by the job that you do is that all of a sudden your step slows down a little bit. You breathe a bit deeper. You look into the eyes of someone you see on the street a little deeper. And when you're in Zoom rooms, you look directly at the camera because you know that your essence flows through and that you are working to care for another human being. What a relief. What a relief not to have to write papers, not to have to deliver food, not to have to do something, but to truly focus on the Avodah of being a human being. You see, in my tradition, we don't take Sabbath seriously. And I say that with chagrin. I grew up in a time, I'll date myself, where there were blue laws, and you couldn't do anything because all the stores were closed. But all that changed. You couldn't go to the stores on Sunday. The movies were closed. But slowly and surely, people started working and doing things, and there was no more Sabbath. I don't envy you your Sabbath. I learned how to be a human being from your practice of Sabbath. And I thank you for it. This is your Sabbath year. And I invite you to do the work of catching one another in your Sabbath. Catching one another at being your best. Catching one another at being human.
So now that we're sharing Sabbaths, since we hang out with you at St. James on Sundays, and you hang out with us at Lab Shul on Saturdays, and we're all trying to reinvent the Sabbath as a time of stopping and being,
Yes.
This coming year is the year of Sabbath, the year of Shmita. We'll talk about it more tomorrow and on Yom Kippur. We're going to spend an entire year figuring out a better balance between our home and our work, between our soul and our body, between the human being and the human doing. And we're doing so because that happens every 7 years on our calendar, and because for the last year and a half, working from home, figuring out so many new realities, I think we could all use this year of better balance with Avodah, with how to work and how to not work. One of the secrets of spiritual practice is Avodah means to actually, actively not do anything. Just sit here and breathe and be. Difficult concept for many of us. So we're hoping to invite ourselves, as Derek said, for a year of better being. And when we work, as we will, for all the things we need to, let's do so with that tranquility of moments of Shabbat and Shmita. Release some of what doesn't serve us and be more with the inner labor that births the being that we yearn to be. We want to end with just a few lines from Pablo Neruda's poem called Be Quiet. He's a Chilean poet, a Nobel Prize winner, a complicated character with a history as well. But just these few lines in the full poem is going to be shared on Yom Kippur. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt the sadness of never understanding ourselves. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Perhaps this Avodah, this labor of love, will teach us how to live again on this and every night. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah. It's our first time doing that this year. I'm gonna sing it, you sing it after me, then we'll be singing together. Ready?
I'm Stefan.
I'm Beth.
And I'm Carol.
Elaine.
It's
on us. We are here for the feast team.
It's on us to nurture the joys of connection.
It's on us to open a circle and welcome each individual and the Lab Shul community into the spirit of Shabbat and the days of awe. It's on us to make our arrivals auspicious, to make our presence resonate.
It's on us to help every person feel welcomed, seen, appreciated. We listen and we laugh, we practice creativity, and we embrace risk.
This past year, we responded to COVID by taking on the challenge of food scarcity in our communities.
We invite you to join us in setting the table of communal welcoming and celebration. Reach out to Sam at lapshul.org for more information.
Aleinu.
It's
on us. Shana Tova. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
The feast team is just one of the many community groups that is helping us be a community by taking care of our eating and our justice, of our refugee needs and of our ecological aspirations, of our racial justice work, and of being a community. So Sam is in the house, our community organizing director right there, and you'll meet more of our community folks throughout the days ahead, and you too can be part of any of the teams because it is on us to co-create community together. Before we begin descending with this flight, as the sun is doing the same, I want to take this moment now to say Kaddish, to stand with our losses, to honor the legacy of our loved ones. Some of us in mourning right now in this room, in your homes. It may have been a few weeks or months or within a year. For some of us, this night of the new year brings the memories of all whose memories we hold. It was in this moment, on this stage, a year ago, when we were told that Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed. Boy, we need her now. But her legacy lives on. And her vision will hopefully triumph not only in Texas, but all over this country, where justice will hopefully prevail. And her memory will be a blessing. And I know many of us are carrying the memories of loved one on this first night of the new year. So as we rise to say Kaddish together, I invite us to bring into our hearts, into this room, our loved ones, our teachers, our ancestors, the ones who died with no one saying Kaddish for, victims of war and terror, of racism, and any other kind of hatred. Victims of war in Afghanistan, victims of weather terror in Haiti, people in this very country. And as going back, as Derek said, as many generations as we can. So let's take a breath and let us rise to say Kaddish together. And if you're online and you would like to put in the chat the names of the people you're saying Kaddish for, please do so. They're on YouTube and on Facebook Live. And in this room, just say them out loud or whisper them. And all these memories are blessings. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברך רעותה וימליך מלכותה בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה ברכו, לעילה ולכל ברכתה ושירתה, תוש בחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום ומר הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
Shalom
Let's find our seats.
I'm
back with some end of our worship announcements. As my staff knows, I don't typically relish this role, and I've often punted it to others on the staff, but I did want to take this opportunity today to contextualize a little bit about who we are and what we're doing, and especially if you're tuning in for the first time, I saw so many people coming from so many places: Hawaii, North Carolina, Kansas, Texas, unbelievable amount of places. And I thought it would be important to share a little bit about who we've become and who we're becoming since our inception in 2011. We were founded as a pop-up, everybody-friendly, artist-driven, sacred community for Jewish gatherings, and really experimenting with what it could look like to gather. And in 2019, we completed our first strategic plan since our inception, and really the focus of that work is really about community and building community, taking the experimentation that we've done to build community. So really trying to meet our mission of being based in New York and creating community there, but also reaching the world, and so many of you who are tuning in online. So with that, I'll share a little bit about some of what's coming up. I think it's on the screens. And many of these things are multi-access, so you can tune in from wherever you are. You can join us in person. I'll start with Recollect, and some of the community building work that we've been doing is around small groups, small affinity groups. You heard from our feast team. You'll hear from lots of other folks over the Days of Awe and the things that they're doing to help build community. Naomi Les is so beautifully leading our Kaddish club along with a beautiful handful of our community members. So we invite anyone who is experiencing a recent loss, remembering a loved one, to join us at Recollect. On September 12th on Zoom, September 13th in person. All of the information is on our website. And this is a really beautifully growing and deepening community within Lab Shul. So that's Recollect. Immediately, in no particular order, immediately after this, on Zoom, our feast team, you met them before, will be holding a traditional Sephardic Rosh Hashanah Seder. If you've never heard of that, yes, there is a Seder that happens on Rosh Hashanah, and our Sephardic siblings have done this for many years, and you can join us tonight on Zoom. The links are also on our High Holy Day website, and it's happening immediately after tonight's worship. Let's see.
That slide went away.
Seder. Rosh Hashanah Day 2. Is that what's next? What? Did I go back one? Thank you. Okay, so on Rosh Hashanah Day 2, for those of you who are in New York City, you can join us in person for a full afternoon of programming for kids, adults, folks of all ages. At 4:30, we will be showing Pickle Soup and Other Tales for the Curious, which is an original puppet show by our friends, the amazing artists and ritualists, Jenny Romaine and Alana June Margolis. And they will be sharing the secrets of time for those who are serious about fun. That is a live show, and we'll be meeting in the north lawn of Rockefeller Park, followed by a beautiful Tashlich ritual on the water, organized by a number of our amazing community members. There's going to be a Hootenanny jam, so if you're into Hootenannies, I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm excited about it. And we're going to jam as the sun sets over the Hudson. Bring your picnic dinner, bring your shofar. So those of you who are in New York and watching, join us. And finally, back for the month of Elul on Mondays and Thursdays is our Soul Spa. This is a program that kicked off on March 15th of 2020 daily. We had about 200 and some odd of them consecutively. We've brought them back for the month of Elul to help our community ground, breathe, reset, and focus for the new year to come. Lastly, I want to offer gratitude to our ritual team here on the Bima. Thank you so much. Our production team behind the scenes back there, those of you who are watching, this is the labor, the Avodah of this amazing team behind the scenes. And of course, to the many talented songwriters and composers who you'll see on our screen, who have brought our worship to life this evening. Lastly, if you've had a moment of wow tonight, a moment where you were just like, oh, I'm so glad I tuned in. Please consider making a tax-deductible donation to Lab Shul. There are many ways you can do it. You can do it on our website. You can do it Venmo. You can send a check. We really would appreciate it, especially now. And finally, I want to invite our board chair, our generous host, Michael Dorf, up to the bima for Kiddush and a blessing over the wine.
So Michael Dorf and whichever of your children want to be here, our B Mitzvah graduates, we're going to be doing something that is tricky these days. We're not going to really eat together indoors, but we're going to bless food together. Hey, buddy. Welcome. We're going to raise a glass to transformation. We're going to break into some challah with apple and honey. If you're at home and you've got your ritual food props, get them ready. Those of us here will be having them outside in just a moment. And we want to take this moment to really raise a glass of blessing.
What a beautiful, beautiful, powerful service tonight. Thank you. This wine was made here, actually. Last year, we weren't able to say that. So and let's hope next year we're back at Hammerstein, and the year after that, Madison Square Garden, and we can keep growing this as much as we love it at City Winery. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen. And I invite you to unveil. All right. And let's bless this bread.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam hamotzi lechem min ha'oretz.
Amen. And I'm going to invite you the honor of cutting this. And while we're doing that, let me hold this up. And we don't usually get to bless fruits in public, but on this eve of the new year, as Shira said to us earlier, the apple tree is the official plant of this night. So here's to the apples, here's to the trees, here's to the earth, here's to the labor that goes into growing them, and the labor that happens without us doing a darn thing, and for all the hands that make sure that we are fed, so that the apple and the honey in this dish represents the sweetness of when to work and when to let go, and to be here now. Po, opening our mouth, our pe, to eat with gratitude, to breathe with intention, and to begin this new year together. So, Baruch atah ya Eloheinu ruach haolam borei peri ha'etz.
Amen.
May this be a really sweet year, everybody, because we need it.
Ruach haolam
Shana Tova, everybody, and good night. Thank you for joining us. Stick around online for the special Rosh Hashanah Seder that is hosted by our feast team. Join us tomorrow morning for a whole bunch of online for all ages, whether you're going to be here in person, and we'll be here back again on Yom Kippur as well. For those of you here in the room, we're going to be gathering in just a moment. And thank you for being with us, everybody. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
For those in the room, just pause for one moment. Are we out?